I'm going to read one from my book tonight. I was just saying to Rosie, I haven't read this before in open mic because it's a little bit longer. I haven't actually read it for a really long time, so I don't know why I felt moved to read it. So after the birth of my daughter, which was 11 years ago now, I had a thing called Eclampsia, which is a very serious life-threatening condition that manifests as kind of convulsions, and it culminated in me being in a coma. So this is about that, so just a content warning. The deep. 1. There was no archway of arms to welcome me back from the underworld. No reverential washing of the feet as people sang me home and held me close. No ceremonial fire to thaw my weary bones. No, there was nothing like that. Descent. There was the sunlight and the baby and us in the living room, bright with birth and beginnings. There was the feeling I was disappearing. Blue orbs tumbling towards, eyes rolled back, body tonic, clonic, and him suspended between two futures. There were the neighbours and the paramedics and the blue lights and the bumpy track and the siren and him in the back with the baby. There was me on a gurney, 36,000 feet deep, 6.9 miles of water overhead in the Hadal Trench, where unimaginable creatures dwelt. There was the darkness, the absence, the void. Bay. There were my cradle arms empty, and the doctors who tapped at my kneecaps to see if anyone was home. There were hurried feet along corridors and locked doors, and the grandparents peering through wire grid glass, thinking the unthinkable. There were concerned whispers, wet eyes and white knuckles of hands holding onto curled fingers in a tangle of tubes. There were rows of unusually still toes, making sails out of sheets and beeps and busy backs between blue curtain cracks and the rasping seashell inhale of the deep sea diver's breath in the bay next to me. And the tick, tick, tick of the mocking clock in a world where day and night merged in timeless half-light. Fish mouth. There was the baby. 24 hours new, and the friend with full milky breasts quietly arriving with salt stream cheeks and dripping nipples, and my baby in her arms. There was him on the awkward single bed, waking up surprised to find a small creature curled upon his chest, making fish mouth movements. And the little cup of expressed milk with the syringe on the bedside unit. Earth side. There was the place upstairs where each room housed an everyday miracle. Pink and blue teddy bears and box fresh baby grows dangling off tiny still furled toes. Skin on soft skin and gentle smiles and tea and toast and the kiss of morning. Empty. 5 floors down. There was the feeling of being alone. My stone skeleton neck, a calcified coral branch, stiff against bleached cotton, caught up in plastic lines, and the bag of golden piss hooked by my side. There was the feeling of being touched by blue gloves in my own absence, and the abyss between then and now, and my cradle arms still empty. Jellyfish. There was the first shower, looking down at my feet and watching the water drip from the black scour weed of my pubis, and the dark kelp line crawling up my withered abdomen, deflated and soft like warm blubber, or a jellyfish, or a sea slug, and the blood in the plug, and the blue fracture crack veins across the striated bedrock of my breasts. Resurfacing. There was the baby, back in my cradle arms, and a rainbow over Brighton Beach through the 12th floor window, and still the feeling of being alone. Sure. I clambered, sea beaten and staggering across the stony shore of early motherhood. There was no archway of arms to welcome me back from the underworld. No reverential washing of the feet as people sang me home and held me close. No ceremonial fire to thaw my weary bones. No, there was nothing like that.
Thank you, Lily. That's amazing. So many things there going on. Such an amazing emotional journey. I particularly like the newborn fish mouth faces, because they do like little fishes.
Yeah.
They do. Next up, can we have Reese?